Have you ever found yourself lost in the vibrant culture of Mexico and thought, can I become a Mexican resident and live in Mexico permanently? Hello there, my name is Sarah, and welcome to this video with all your friends here from Passport Journey. Are you ready to discover the beauty and wonders that our world has to offer? If your answer is yes, then you've come to the right place. Now in this episode, we will discuss the possibility of making your dream a reality by obtaining Mexican residency. Many people have been captivated by the rich history, stunning landscapes, and delicious cuisine of this Latin American gem. But few have navigated the labyrinth of the Mexican residency process. We'll cover who's eligible to apply, the application process itself, the documents you'll need to gather, the costs associated with the application, what happens after you've applied, and what life in Mexico is really like. Our aim is to provide you a comprehensive guide that clears up any confusion and sets you on the path to your new life in Mexico. So, if you've ever daydreamed of waking up to a view of the Mayan ruins or a bustling Mexico City street, stick around, because we're about to delve into the process of becoming a Mexican resident. So, who exactly can apply for Mexican residency? Well, the answer is a bit more expansive than you might think. In essence, anyone who meets a certain set of criteria can throw their hat into the ring. Let's dive into what these requirements are. Firstly, age matters. You need to be at least 18 years old to apply for Mexican residency. If you're younger, you'll need to have a guardian or parent apply on your behalf. Next up is financial stability. Mexico wants to ensure that its residents can support themselves without becoming a burden on the country's resources. As such, you'll need to demonstrate that you have a steady income or substantial savings. The exact amount varies, but it generally hovers around the equivalent of $25,000 per year. Then, there's the matter of a clean criminal record. If you've been convicted of a serious crime or have outstanding legal issues, you might find your application denied. Mexico values the safety of its citizens and residents, and as such, they're quite strict about this aspect. But what about those of you who have a connection to Mexico? If you have a Mexican spouse, child, or parent, you can also apply for residency. The same goes for those who own property in Mexico or have Mexican business interests. And let's not forget those who simply want to retire in Mexico. If you're over the age of 50 and can demonstrate that you have sufficient funds to support yourself, you're eligible to apply for a retirement visa, which can eventually lead to residency. So, as you can see, the pool of potential applicants is quite wide. Whether you're a young adventurer, a seasoned business person, a retiree looking for a change of scenery, or someone with familial ties to Mexico, there's a path to residency for you. Now that we know who can apply, let's move on to how you can apply. The process might seem daunting at first, but don't worry, we've got you covered. So let's dive straight into the nitty-gritty of the application process for Mexican residency. The journey to becoming a Mexican resident can be broken down into a series of steps. Each step is crucial, and missing even one could set you back. So it's important to approach this with a good deal of care and attention to detail. The first step is to determine your eligibility. This usually involves assessing your financial stability and ensuring you meet the minimum income or savings requirement set by the Mexican government. If you're a breadwinner, a retiree, or even a student with financial means, you're in good stead to proceed. The second step is to gather all necessary documents. This typically includes your passport, proof of financial stability, and a completed application form. But don't worry, we'll delve deeper into the specific documents you'll need in the next scene. The third step is to apply for a Mexican visa at the Mexican embassy or consulate in your home country. This is a crucial detail. The application process must begin from your home country. It's not something you can do after landing in Mexico on a whim. The visa you'll be applying for is called a temporary resident visa, and it's your first step towards residency. Next, you'll need to attend an interview at the embassy or consulate. They'll ask you a series of questions to verify your intentions and whether you meet all the requirements. It's essential to be honest and straightforward during this interview. And don't forget to bring all your documents. After your visa is approved, it's time to head to Mexico. But the process doesn't end there. Upon arrival, you'll need to exchange your visa for a temporary resident card at the National Immigration Institute within 30 days. This card is your ticket to long-term stay in the country. Finally, after a period of temporary residency, you can apply for permanent resident status. This is usually after 4 years, but there are exceptions for those who are married to a Mexican citizen or have a Mexican child. The application process might seem like a lot to handle, but remember, it's a journey. Each step brings you closer to the rich culture, vibrant life, and warm people of Mexico. And while the process does require a good deal of commitment and patience, the reward is a life filled with new experiences in a country that has so much to offer. Remember, preparation is key to a smooth application process, so take your time, do your research, and approach each step with diligence. And before you know it, you'll be sipping margaritas under the Mexican sun, soaking up the vibrant culture and warmth that this beautiful country has to offer. Paperwork is an inevitable part of any residency application, and Mexico is no exception. Whether it's for a temporary stay or a more permanent move, having your documents in order is a critical step in the process. So, let's dive into the list of documents you'll need to apply for Mexican residency. First and foremost, you'll need your passport. This should be a no-brainer, but it's worth mentioning. Your passport is your primary identification document, and it must be valid for at least 6 months beyond your planned stay in Mexico. Next, you'll need a visa. Now, this isn't your typical tourist visa. You'll need a visa that explicitly allows you to apply for residency. This is usually obtained from a Mexican consulate in your home country before you make the move. Then comes proof of income. Mexico wants to ensure that you can support yourself financially during your stay. You'll need to provide documents showing a steady income or substantial savings. This could be bank statements, pension documents, or proof of employment. The exact amount you'll need to show can vary, so it's best to check with the Mexican consulate for the most up-to-date information. In addition to these, you might also need other documents depending on your specific circumstances. For example, if you're planning to work in Mexico, you'll need a work permit. If you're retiring in Mexico, you might need to show proof of retirement. It's important to remember that all these documents must be properly translated into Spanish. So, don't forget to factor in the time and cost of getting these translations done. Finally, keep in mind that this list isn't exhaustive, and the requirements may vary slightly depending on your individual situation. It's always a good idea to double-check with the Mexican consulate or an immigration lawyer to make sure you have everything you need. With all your documents ready, you're well on your way to getting that residency. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room: cost. Applying for Mexican residency, as with any bureaucratic process, comes with a price tag. The actual cost can vary, but let's break it down so you can get a rough idea of what you might need to budget for. Firstly, there are the government fees. These are costs associated with the application process itself. Typically, these fees range from a few $100 to a few $1,000, depending on the type of residency you're applying for. Temporary residency, for example, has a lower cost than permanent residency. Secondly, you might also need to consider the cost of a lawyer or immigration consultant. Now, this isn't a mandatory expense. You could certainly opt to navigate the process on your own. But if you're not fluent in Spanish or unfamiliar with the Mexican legal system, hiring a professional can be a smart move. It can save you a lot of time and stress. The cost for this service can vary widely, from a few $100 to several $1,000s. Also, remember that there are other expenses that you might need to consider. These could include the cost of translating and notarizing documents, travel expenses to and from the immigration office, and possibly even the cost of a short trip out of the country if you're already in Mexico and need to change your immigration status. Finally, don't forget to budget for the cost of living while your application is being processed. This could take several months, during which time you'll need to cover your day-to-day expenses. When you add it all up, the cost of applying for Mexican residency can seem quite daunting, but it's essential to view this as an investment. An investment in a new life, in a new culture, and in countless new experiences. Yes, it might be a significant investment, but think about the endless tacos and sunsets. You've submitted your application, now what? This is usually the question that pops up after you've gone through the process of collecting all the necessary documents, filled out the application form, and finally hit the submit button. Now, you're probably wondering what happens next. Well, the first thing to remember is, patience is key. Once your application for Mexican residency is submitted, it doesn't mean you'll get an instant response. It's not like ordering a taco where you give your order and get your delicious meal in a matter of minutes. This is a process that involves several stages and might take some time. After submission, your application will enter an evaluation phase. During this period, the Mexican immigration authorities will be reviewing the information and documents you've provided. They'll check if everything is in order, and if something is missing or unclear, they might contact you for clarification. Now, here's where it gets a bit more personal. Once your application has passed the initial evaluation, you'll be invited for an interview. This is a crucial part of the process, as it gives the authorities a chance to know you better. Don't fret though. The interview is usually a friendly conversation designed to assess your intentions and commitment to living in Mexico. After the interview, you'll enter what can feel like the longest phase, the waiting period. This can range from a few weeks to a few months. Remember, the authorities are dealing with numerous applications, and each one needs to be thoroughly reviewed. During this time, it's important to be patient and avoid any actions that might jeopardize your application, such as overstaying your current visa. If you have any concerns or questions during the wait, it's best to contact the Mexican immigration authorities directly. Finally, once all these stages are complete, you'll receive a notification about the status of your application. If it's successful, congratulations, you're on your way to becoming a Mexican resident. If not, don't despair. You can always apply again and use the experience to strengthen your next application. Patience is a virtue, especially when waiting for your Mexican residency. No matter the outcome, remember that the journey is just as important as the destination. Congratulations, you're now a resident of Mexico, but what does that mean? Well, let's take a moment to explore the multitude of benefits that come with your new status. First off, as a resident, you'll have access to Mexico's healthcare system, which is known for its high-quality services and affordable prices. Whether it's a routine checkup or a more serious medical procedure, you can rest easy knowing that you're covered. But that's not all. One of the greatest benefits of Mexican residency is the right to work. Whether you're an entrepreneur looking to start a business, a digital nomad seeking a change of scene, or a retiree interested in part-time work, your residency status opens up a world of opportunities. You're not just a visitor anymore, you're part of the community, contributing to the local economy and culture. Speaking of culture, living in Mexico offers a unique opportunity to immerse yourself in a rich tapestry of traditions and lifestyles. From the vibrant festivals and delicious cuisine to the warm and welcoming people, every day is a chance to learn and grow. You'll come to understand the true meaning of manana, a term that captures the laid-back, enjoy-the-moment attitude that is so characteristic of Mexican life. And let's not forget the natural beauty that is at your doorstep. Imagine waking up to the sight of a sun-kissed beach, exploring ancient ruins in the afternoon, and winding down with a stunning sunset view from your rooftop. With its diverse landscapes, Mexico offers a plethora of outdoor activities, whether you're a beach bum, a mountain hiker, or a jungle explorer. Of course, it's not all about the big things. It's also about the simple pleasures of everyday life, like sipping on a freshly brewed cup of Mexican coffee, chatting with your neighbors in the local market, or simply taking a leisurely stroll around your new neighborhood. So, my friend, with your new Mexican residency, you are not just gaining a new address, but a whole new way of life. You're joining a community, a culture, a country that is full of life, warmth, and endless possibilities. So, are you ready to start your Mexican adventure? Getting Mexican residency might seem like a big step, but it's a rewarding one. We've journeyed together through the ins and outs of applying for Mexican residency. From understanding who can apply to the nitty-gritty of the application process, the necessary documents, and the associated costs. We've also looked at what happens after you've sent off your application and given a glimpse into the joys of living in Mexico. This is only a stepping stone, a brief introduction. We encourage you to dig deeper if you're seriously considering this path. Engage with official resources, speak to those who've walked this road before, and make informed decisions. Mexican residency offers a wealth of opportunities. Imagine immersing yourself in the vibrant culture, savoring the delectable cuisine, and experiencing the warmth of the Mexican people every day. Remember, the world is your oyster, and Mexico could be your pearl. Embrace the adventure, and who knows where it could lead you. For more travel tips and products to help you on your traveling journey, check out the links in the video description below. And if you are new here, you liked the video and we've given you some value, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for our newest videos. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, this is Sarah from Passport Journey saying, I wish you happy trails, safe travels, and good luck making your dreams a reality by getting your Mexican residency.